Simon Phillips, you are so audacious. How dare you take over one of the world's most famous works, or the sequel to one of the world's most famous works, and do what you've done to it so magnificently?
It's very scary, we have to say. We've approached the whole thing with this kind of mixture of incredible excitement and great fear, because there's two things. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber, and he's the world's most popular composer, and also this show had a kind of a rocky opening in London, and the Lord didn't like it very much, so he's asked us to have another go at it. So it's been thrilling to work on, because the score is so fantastic, and the setting, the Coney Island setting, it just offers so much to the imagination and to the visual possibilities of the show. So I guess our excitement about actually developing it and working on it and having the ideas has got on top of, as you say, our sense that we should be shit scared that we're doing it at all.
So, but the thing is that your Tony Award nominated musical was just about to open when you were in pre-production in a hotel room with your designer in New York. How did you fit it in? How did you have your brain in that many places?
Yes, it was. I slightly thank the setting for that, and the fact that Gabriella and I have worked together before, and we have a very kind of immediate sense of communication. So I think we're both kind of yes type people. So we went with a lot of ideas, threw a lot out, but we had a very kind of fast and immediate working relationship. But yes, it was a crazy time, because I was in rehearsal and I had my evenings, so I'd go back to Gabriella, had the whole thing set up in her room, and she was making these kind of rough cardboard models during the day of what we discussed the night before, and then I'd come back the next night and we'd pull that apart and go for something different. It was
the many things you can do with a room service menu.
That's right, exactly.
Okay, so Gabrielle obviously has had a massive voice. Just looking at this set now, as we are, it's very rare that one walks into a theatre and actually gets moved by a set. How did you both arrive at this? Because it's stunning.
Yeah, I think it is. You don't want to get too complacent before a show opens, but it is really one of the most beautiful designs I've ever seen. And I think when I was, as it were, casting my designer on this, I knew that I wanted the kind of roller coaster of Coney to be the environment for the set, and to bring kind of different elements into that. And I was thinking about designers who work very beautifully with kind of curves, and who also have a sense of the kind of gaudy grotesquerie that's behind a lot of the world of Coney Island. And Gabriella is her sense of line is absolutely exquisite, and she never works in parallel lines or anything too, it's just not her way to work with anything too rigidly architectural. So I thought that she was the perfect designer for it, because she can't put pen to paper without it looking beautiful. And then she's a very perverse brain as well, which really suits me. So because we had to kind of develop the world of the freaks of Coney, because the Phantom's kind of found himself in this environment, like one of the few environments in the world that actually where he is kind of not the weirdest person there, where his deformity is par for the course. And Gabriella's come up with some marvellous, we scoured through the various possibilities of things that can happen to people, and kind of part of the kind of ethos of it is that they're kind of beautiful as well as a little horrifying. So she's done a gorgeous job. It's very thrilling.
Let the winds pass.
I was just watching a dry take of a couple of cues. When you look at a score, when you look at a script, and of course you have to change an environment for the actors, and you hear the music, and what defines the timing of the cue to turn it into a good cue for you?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think that's one of the things that my kind of experience can bring to the planning process when we're developing the design and working out what could happen when, and that would be a great image, and wouldn't that be good? And in the back of my mind, I'm always going, well, I can, because I've done a lot of shows, I can think, well, that scene change like that is likely to take about this amount of time, and is there that amount of time in the score? So the planning's careful, and then when we get into the room, we're timing. I mean, this was hell to us because we had nothing. We were working here on three revolves, and in the room we had nothing at all. So you're saying, you're timing things out and saying this revolve cue will need to be, just give me the timing on that score from there to there, and it feels like it should take that time. And
so you've recorded to disc, though. Laura Topoki playing the score for you. That sort of locks your musical director into specific timings. In some ways it does. What we did before we came down here to start taking is we recorded our last run in the rehearsal room. So we were working to the timings that Guy had developed and felt he was comfortable with, and he knew that he was going to come in here and try and work. And all the cues are plotted to those timings. Well, look, and then at the end of the day, though, the musical director can bring it in on a visual cue, can't he?
Absolutely. He'll have we're working to various different sorts of cues that he'll work from, and quite often there's a little bit of possible fat at the end of it. He could hold a chord for just a little bit longer to let the set arrive or whatever.
Now, look, I have to let you go because you're having the most amazing final year at the Melbourne Theatre Company. Congratulations on the company's production of Next to Normal.
Thank you. Yeah, great. It couldn't be more different, but great to see that show here in Melbourne.
And congratulations on really a fantastic kiss-off. I've got to ask the question, what are you going to after this? Apart from MTC finishing off.
The next big production that I'm planning is the musical of Officer and a Gentleman that I've been working on for a little while, and then various little shows in the never possible planning stage. I left the Melbourne Theatre Company not to do anything specific, just because I felt it was time I left the company.
Yeah, so it would be really nice for a little break in the Seychelles, perhaps.
Exactly. Absolutely. Buy me a ticket, I'll go anytime.
Simon, thank you so much. And Chookers for opening night on May the 28th.
Cheers, thanks.